Your car came loaded with features. The dealer called them safety technology. The brochure called them driver assistance. But here's what nobody told you. Several of those features that are turned on by default right now, today in your car, are actually making your driving more stressful, more confusing, and in some cases, genuinely more dangerous for drivers over 50. Today we're going through every one of them, what they do wrong, and exactly how to turn them off. Here's what happens to a lot of drivers over 50. You buy a new car, everything feels fine at first, and then slowly you start noticing things. The car jerks the steering wheel when you get close to a line. Beeping starts for no obvious reason. The brakes grab unexpectedly. You start to wonder if you're losing your edge behind the wheel, when actually the car's own systems are fighting you. That's not a driving problem, that's a settings problem. And it has a fix. Here's the important thing to understand before we get into each feature. Modern cars are calibrated for an average driver. Young, with fast reflexes, someone who commutes in heavy traffic, someone who spends a lot of time on the highway at high speed. Drivers over 50 often drive differently, more deliberately, more carefully, more defensively. And several of the default settings in today's vehicles are tuned for that younger, faster driving profile. When those settings meet a more measured, experienced driving style, they create friction, they interrupt, they second-guess you. What we're going to do today is put you back in charge of your own vehicle. Lane Keep Assist. Let's start with one of the most common complaints among drivers over 50 and one of the most misunderstood features in any modern vehicle, Lane Keep Assist. Here's the scenario. You're driving on a familiar road, maybe a two-lane highway you've driven hundreds of times. You drift slightly toward the shoulder, not dangerously, just naturally, the way experienced drivers do when they're giving room to an oncoming truck or avoiding a pothole. And suddenly the steering wheel pushes back against your hands. The car physically steers itself in the opposite direction. If you weren't expecting it, that jolt can be genuinely startling. The problem with Lane Keep Assist is that it cannot read context the way a human driver can. It reads lane markings. That's it. It doesn't know you're giving space to a cyclist on your right. It doesn't know the lane marking on your left is faded and you're actually positioned correctly. It just sees the line, decides you're too close, and intervenes. For drivers over 50, many of whom have decades of deliberate, controlled driving experience, this feels like the car is calling your judgment wrong. And the constant micro-corrections create a low-level tension in your hands and arms that builds up over a long drive into real fatigue. But here's where it gets worse. On roads with worn or missing lane markings, which is common in rural areas and older highway stretches, Lane Keep Assist sometimes steers toward the wrong position entirely because it's trying to track a line that isn't clearly there. That's not a safety feature anymore. That's a hazard. The simple fix: go into your vehicle settings, find the driver assistance menu, and look for Lane Keep Assist or Lane Keeping Aid. Turn it off. Most vehicles let you do this through the touchscreen or a dedicated button on the steering wheel. You can always turn it back on for long highway trips if you want it, but make it your choice, not the default. Automatic emergency braking, sensitivity setting. Now, before anyone switches off their screen, we are not telling you to disable automatic emergency braking entirely. This feature, which applies the brakes automatically when it detects an imminent collision, is genuinely valuable and has saved lives. Keep it on. But here is what most car owners don't realize. Many vehicles allow you to adjust the sensitivity of the system, and the default setting is often set to maximum. That means the system starts reacting to objects at a greater distance and lower speed differential than most experienced drivers would consider an actual threat. Here's what this looks like in real life. You're pulling into a parking space. The car in front of you is stationary. You're moving at 3 miles per hour, controlling the vehicle precisely, and then the brakes grab hard on their own. The car lurches to a stop. Your coffee goes everywhere. And for a driver who didn't expect that intervention, it creates a split second of panic that itself becomes a distraction. Or you're on the highway, and a truck in the next lane crosses briefly into your camera's field of view. The system reads it as a potential collision. It preemptively tightens the brakes. Nothing dangerous was actually happening, but now your heart rate is elevated and your focus is broken. For drivers over 50, unexpected abrupt braking is particularly disruptive because it can trigger a startle response that takes longer to recover from than it would for a younger driver. The fix here is not to turn the system off. It's to reduce the sensitivity. Go into your driver assistance or safety settings and look for automatic emergency braking sensitivity. Drop it from high to medium or low. You keep the protection. You eliminate the false alarms. That's the right balance. Auto Stop Start Engine System. Here is a feature that was never designed with driver comfort in mind. It was designed entirely to improve fuel economy numbers on government testing cycles. The Auto Stop Start system shuts your engine off every time you come to a complete stop at a red light or in traffic and restarts it automatically when you release the brake pedal. The idea sounds reasonable on paper. You're stopped. You're burning fuel for nothing. Shut the engine off. But here's the reality of living with this system every single day. Every time the engine shuts off, you feel a subtle but distinct shudder through the seat and the steering wheel. Every time it restarts, there's a half-second hesitation and another vibration pulse. The air conditioning stops cooling effectively during the off cycle. The power steering can feel momentarily different when the engine kicks back in. And that restart hesitation, that brief delay between releasing the brake and having full power available, creates a small but real lag at intersections. For drivers over 50, this system is particularly problematic for two reasons. First, the constant stop-start cycle is physically noticeable and mentally distracting in a way that accumulates over a commute. Second, many drivers over 50 have already adapted to reading traffic flow and timing their acceleration from stops with precision. And that half-second restart delay disrupts timing they've spent decades developing. But here's where it gets worse. Repeated auto stop-start cycling puts additional wear on your starter motor and battery compared to a conventional ignition cycle. Studies from automotive engineering firms have shown that starter systems in high stop-start usage vehicles wear at an accelerated rate, and a starter replacement on a modern vehicle can run between $300 and $700 depending on your make and model. The fix is simple. Most vehicles have a dedicated stop-start button, often marked with an A inside a circle with an arrow, on the center console or dashboard. Press it once each time you start the car, and the system deactivates for that drive. Some newer vehicles allow you to permanently disable it through the settings menu. Check your owner's manual for your specific vehicle. It's worth the 5 minutes to find it. If this kind of practical, no-nonsense car advice for drivers over 50 is exactly what you've been looking for, subscribe to the channel right now. We publish this every week, and the next video might save you even more money than this one. Lane Departure Warning. Audio Alert. We already talked about turning off Lane Keep Assist, the system that physically steers the car. But even if you've turned that off, many vehicles keep the Lane Departure Warning alert active separately. This is the audible beep, chime, or vibration in the seat that triggers every time you cross a lane marking without using your turn signal. Here's the problem. The alert is designed to wake up a drowsy driver who is drifting without intention. For an alert, experienced driver over 50 who is intentionally moving within their lane to navigate traffic, give space, or position for a turn, that alert fires constantly. And it fires as urgently as if you were actually drifting asleep. There is no distinction between an unconscious drift and a deliberate lane position adjustment. Most car owners don't realize that the constant beeping from lane departure warning is a documented source of alert fatigue. When a warning sounds too frequently and too often for non-threatening situations, drivers begin to ignore it, including in the situations where it might actually matter. The warning loses its meaning entirely through overuse. The fix? Go into your settings and separate lane departure warning from lane keep assist. Many vehicles list them as independent toggles. Turn off the audible warning specifically. If your vehicle offers a visual-only alert, a light on the dashboard, or a colored highlight in the side mirror, that's a reasonable middle ground. You get the information without the constant noise. Automatic high beams. This one is particularly important for nighttime drivers, and it affects drivers over 50 more than any other age group because of how naturally changing vision affects night driving sensitivity. Automatic high beams, sometimes called auto high beam or smart high beam assist, use a forward-facing camera to detect oncoming traffic and automatically switch between high beams and low beams. In theory, this gives you maximum visibility while preventing you from blinding oncoming drivers. In practice, the system is imperfect in ways that create real problems. The camera sometimes fails to detect oncoming vehicles far enough in advance, leaving your high beams on too long and genuinely blinding the other driver before switching. It can also mistake roadside lights, reflective signs, or distant porch lights for oncoming vehicles and switch to low beams unnecessarily, reducing your forward visibility on dark rural roads right when you need it most. For drivers over 50, many of whom are already more cautious about night driving due to increased glare sensitivity, slower dark adaptation, and reduced contrast vision, having the high beams flip unexpectedly in either direction is disorienting. The sudden change in forward illumination breaks the visual rhythm you're using to navigate the road ahead. The fix: take manual control of your high beams. Turn off the automatic system through your lighting settings or the stock control on your steering column. Use your high beams deliberately, on when the road ahead is clear, off when you see oncoming headlights. You already know how to do this. You've been doing it for decades. Trust your own judgment over a camera that doesn't understand your specific driving environment. Active sound enhancement. Here's one that genuinely surprises people when they find out it exists. A number of modern vehicles, particularly trucks and performance-oriented cars, include a feature called active sound enhancement, or in some brands it's called sound symposer, or engineered sound. What this feature does is pipe artificially amplified or even synthesized engine noise through your car's speakers to make the engine sound more powerful and sporty than it actually is. This is not the real sound of your engine. It is a manufactured audio track being played through your stereo system. For drivers over 50 who are already managing any degree of hearing sensitivity, tinnitus, age-related hearing shift, or simply a preference for a quieter cabin, this feature adds unnecessary sound pressure to every drive. And because it's tied to engine revolutions per minute, it gets louder as you accelerate, which is precisely when road noise is already at its highest. But here's where it gets worse. Because this sound plays through your audio system, it competes with your navigation instructions, your phone calls, and your music. Many drivers over 50 find themselves turning up their audio volume to compensate, which only adds to overall cabin noise load. The fix: go into your audio or vehicle settings and look for active sound enhancement, engine sound enhancement, or a similar label. Switch it off. Your car will run exactly the same. You'll just hear the actual real sound of your engine, which on most modern vehicles is already very well insulated and quiet. This is genuinely one of those settings that improves your driving experience immediately the moment you turn it off. Driver attention monitoring. Peak warning. Here is the most important feature on our list today, because this one doesn't just affect your comfort, it can affect your confidence behind the wheel in a way that has real long-term consequences. Driver attention monitoring, also called driver drowsiness detection or attention assist depending on the manufacturer, uses cameras and steering sensors to monitor your driving patterns and detect signs of fatigue or inattention. When it thinks you're losing focus, it triggers a warning, usually a loud chime combined with a dashboard alert suggesting you take a break. For drivers over 50, this system has a specific and well-documented problem. It is calibrated for a younger driver's baseline movement patterns. Experienced older drivers often have a more deliberate, smoother steering style, smaller corrections, less frequent hand movements, more consistent speed maintenance. To the attention monitoring system, this smooth, controlled driving style can register as reduced engagement, similar to how a drowsy driver moves less. The result: a perfectly alert, experienced driver over 50 gets a take-a-break warning in the middle of a normal, controlled drive. On a highway, they've driven 100 times, when they are completely fine. And that warning, that suggestion that you may be losing your ability to drive safely, plants a seed of doubt that affects confidence. Over time, repeated false warnings from a system that was supposed to help you actually erode your comfort and self-assurance behind the wheel. This is where it becomes expensive in a way that has nothing to do with money. Confidence is part of driving. Unnecessary doubt is dangerous in its own way. The fix: find driver attention monitoring or attention assist in your vehicle settings and turn it off. If your vehicle doesn't allow you to fully disable it, look for a sensitivity adjustment and set it to its lowest setting. You know when you're tired. You've been reading your own body for over 50 years. You don't need a camera second-guessing you on a Tuesday afternoon drive to the grocery store. The bottom line. Here's where we land. Modern cars are remarkable machines, but they came programmed with default settings designed for an average driver who does not exist. And that average driver is definitely not you. Lane Keep Assist fights your deliberate positioning. Auto Stop Start adds vibration and hesitation. Automatic emergency braking set to maximum fires at parking lot speeds. Active sound enhancement adds noise you never asked for. And driver attention monitoring questions your competence on the very drives where you're doing everything right. Every one of these features has a legitimate purpose somewhere, for someone. But leaving them all turned on at their default settings when they don't match your driving style is like wearing shoes that are the wrong size because they came in the box that way. You have every right to adjust them. Take 20 minutes this week, get in your car, open your settings menu, work through each of these features one by one. Your owner's manual will show you exactly where each one lives, And if you want help finding specific settings for your specific vehicle, leave your make, model, and year in the comments. We read every single one. Now here's my question for you. Which one of these features has been bothering you the most without you knowing there was a way to turn it off? Tell me in the comments below. And if this video genuinely helped you understand your car better, subscribe to the channel. We do this every week for drivers over 50. Practical, accurate, no-nonsense car knowledge that puts you back in control. We'll see you in the next one.